There we go, that's better. You can hear me now. Hi everyone. I've just opened the chat window up to see to see talking about mobility scooters being souped up. Have I missed something already? It's kind of funny though. How are we all today? So we've got Cal. Hello, Cal was the first one in. You're keen today. And we have Ms. Theosaurus. And the lovely Jan is also with us. Hello, Jan. How are you? Well, I know how you are. I've already spoken to you today. Oh, goodness me. Love to see it. And we've got Ulrika as well. How did the recycling go, Ulrika? Was it as fantastical as you thought it was going to be? Again, it made me chuckle a little bit this morning. I liked it. Oh, okay. So Cal is looking at purchasing a mobility scooter. You want something more than a dodgy looking cup holder. Love it. Oh, fabulous. Hello, Europa. How are you? Lovely to see you. Nice of you to join us this very fine Scottish afternoon. It is very warm outside. It was not warm this morning at 7 o'clock when I went for my run. There was ice. Wasn't expecting that. It almost caught me out, but I've got a lot of insulation, so you know it wasn't really a problem. But I was a wee bit nippy. My bum cheeks were cold for the first mile or so. Oh, you've put it off. Oh, yeah, I suppose you'll still be recovering from the aftermath of the London Marathon, I would assume, Ulrika. Are you far enough out that that's a silly thing to say? Are you far enough out that it wouldn't affect you? It affects everything and everywhere in London. Jock's plodding about here. You just see him in the background there, settling himself down. Oh, thank you. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, it was. Well, I think Garmin told me, God, not that I believe anything that my Garmin watch tells me anymore, but Garmin said it was 2 degrees, but it was definitely closer to 0. I think I do find it's usually a degree or 2 out. The weird thing is though, and I'm assuming it's the same for other people in temperate climates, it's probably not just Scotland, but at this time of the year, you can get very pleasant temperatures during the day. Like it's about 17 degrees outside just now. Like it's t-shirt weather for Scottish people. Like this is almost summer temperatures. But you go from that and it drops down really, really cold at night. So in the space of like the 35 minutes ish that I was running this morning, it went from that iciness to quite warm, and it went quite quickly. So by the time I got, obviously because I'm running as well, I'm warm. I warm up, but it was substantially warmer by the time I got back than when I left. I was like, I don't know if I like this or not. But I'm very much wear as few clothes as possible. I hate being encumbered when I run, and I've always said this: if I could run naked just with trainers and a watch on, I'd 100% would be that person. So I tend to run light anyway, and I would rather be too cold because I heat up very quickly than have all this extra stuff to like take off and have to carry with me like that. That doesn't work for me at all. Even in the coldest of winter weather, I'm quite happy to run down to about -4. If I go lower than that, that's when physically I can feel it. But if I'm running in -4, I don't wear gloves or a hat for that matter either. So I'm pretty good. But the obviously the flip side of that is I'm absolutely rubbish in warm weather. The minute it's over 18 degrees, it all goes to hell in a handbasket for me. So advantages living in Scotland, but the minute I run anywhere else or I run during the summer, that's why I run like super early in the morning before it even gets a chance to get like remotely warm, because otherwise I'm just like a melty puddle, and that's just the way it goes. Yeah, we don't do layers. Layers are not a thing. Like minimal amount of clothing. Same in Ireland, yeah. Well, you guys get very similar weather. I'm originally from the west coast of Scotland, so I find that the weather patterns, because you more or less the same thing. Lots of rain. All the warmth disappears with no clouds to keep it in. Yeah, pretty much, Jan. But yeah, I was surprised this morning, because when I stepped out initially, it didn't seem that bad. I mean, it was on the chilly side, which again I would expect at this time of year, first thing in the morning. I was not prepared for icy patches. I was like, oh no. Cal's friend trainer decided to run a half marathon up Mount Snowdon. Okay, there's the definition of a lunatic. Came to help me paint the day after, and both soles of his feet were entirely blistered. Dopey so-and-so were crappy old trainers. Yeah, no, it's not the best idea. Yeah, I think I would cope a lot better. Obviously, I would probably acclimatise better to running in like Canadian cold than I would heat. But generally, I mean, we don't really drop. As a general rule at that time of the morning, it's very rarely colder than like maybe -5. But I basically just switch between like a fleecy base layer, usually merino wool, which is great for keeping you warm. So I'm still actually only wearing like a top and a pair of trousers. But the running leggings I wear are thermal as well. So I'm still actually only wearing 2 pieces of clothing, but they're warmer. And then in the summer, obviously, I switch to like a really light fabric. And this is the stage now where, as it starts to warm up, I'll go from a long sleeve top to a t-shirt and then eventually to a vest, and my running leggings go from full length to like just below the knee, and then I go to like a long cycling short when it gets really, really hot. But always only 2 items of clothing. Socks and shoes don't count, and bras don't count either. You know what I mean, like my outer layers. And I see people running in like woolly hats and like zip up jackets, and they've got 3 t-shirts on underneath, and I'm like, why are you not dying? Hey Mary, how you doing? He didn't train, he was a downhill mountain biker. Do you know, it's really annoying, right? You know how I don't really like people. One of my neighbours, and he's a really nice guy, I would just like to say that. It's not that I don't think he's a nice person, but he's one of these really annoying people that books marathons and doesn't do any training and just goes and run it and goes, oh, I was knackered afterwards, and like there's not a bead of sweat on him ever. Like, I hate people like that. I hate it. Here's me like blood, sweat and tears plodding along like, hey, yeah, I've done like 5 miles, and he's like, yeah, I did like 2 weeks training for a marathon, finished it. I'm like, oh, shut up, just go away. Yeah, in Fahrenheit for our, let me just tell you, at least just give me a wee second, I'll get my converter. I'm not very good with the minuses. Somebody in the chat will probably be able to do it quicker than me. So oh, this won't let, why does it not let me do minus? Go on now. 23 Fahrenheit, release. 23 in your money. Your dad's a bit like that. Yes, Mary, we've been, well, I was actually talking about how changeable it was. It was frosty this morning when I went out for my run, and it's now like 17 degrees, so very, very changeable here. But it's kind of nice though. I'm enjoying the sunshine. We've only got another couple of days of this, and then we have to go back to our usual sort of grey, cloudy, Scottish weather. So I'm just kind of like trying to enjoy it while I can. But yeah, it's kind of good though. It's nice when you're out running when it's like this, because you get the sunshine, but it's not too hot, and that's like perfect for me. Really enjoy running in the spring and the autumn because the temperature tends to suit me better without it being too wet. Is the weather good for you too, Mary? Yeah. It seems to be quite widespread today. The colour cave is live according to YouTube. YouTube's actually done its job. It's not even 3 o'clock yet. Oh my goodness. It's a shame they can't do their job in the live stream dashboard. That would be really nice. I'm so glad that you guys contacted me about that this morning, because I would have been none of the wiser. And I don't know what's going on with it. I have checked the clock, like, and on my laptop, the internal clock and everything, just to make sure there's no clash. So I honestly, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. But can you not? Oh no, you can't go outside because you're work. Oh yes, just working. I was gonna say, why don't you just take your phone and watch the stream outside? Yeah, I've definitely not napped in my chair on the balcony. Hi Susan. I'm assuming Susan's not too far from me. I'm assuming your weather's good today as well, Susan. You miss having a balcony, April. Yeah, I enjoyed it when I stayed in the city centre in Glasgow. I had a balcony in my flat, and I really enjoyed it as well. It was a very nice space to have when you live in a flat, because if you don't have a garden or whatever, I really enjoyed having that outside space. And ours were like, you were walled in on all sides, so you couldn't see your neighbours or anything like that. It was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. Lovely in the summer, but the flat that I was in was really warm in the summer. Like, oh, super, super warm. Maybe a bit too well insulated. A 20th floor. Yeah, I was only like 4 floors up. Beautiful. Yes, glad to hear it, Susan. You want me to move both screens, the desk, the chair, etc.? But why not? Stranger things have happened, have they not? Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, so other than that, I don't really have much to report. Than that I've dragged my backside out for a run this morning. Things are just hectic here. I do feel quite fresh though, which is nice. I have been like generally tired, but I got a really, really good night's sleep last night for the first time in ages. And I felt really fresh when I got up this morning, so I was like, quick, put your running shoes on before your brain realises what your body's doing. Just get out. And I've just been like pottering about today. I've not had a huge, I mean, I've always got things to do, but there was nothing like super pressing. So I've actually had a relatively laid back day in terms of getting things done, which is nice. It's a refreshing change for me because it doesn't happen very often. 25 in here, 25 Celsius, I'm assuming April. That's fairly toasty. Was out walking to a friend and the doctor was straight to his water after 15 minutes, yeah. Well, that's the other thing I've got to be careful with old Jockey Bo here, because he's got an irregular heartbeat, which tends to cause problems when the dogs are older, and heat stress is obviously quite a big factor, so he's very much like, I've got to stop and wait for him all the time now. He's like plodding pace all the time. So when I took him and Pip out earlier, I didn't go too far and I just kept watching him to see how he was doing, and he was all right, but then he kind of started panting a wee bit, and he really shouldn't have been panting for the rate that we were walking at and the temperature. So I just turned tail at that point and we just started to walk back, but he was absolutely fine. Had a good snooze for an hour, and then he's like, yep, okay, cool. Well, fun. I'm just going to move this mouse around. I need to do something with this configuration here, and I haven't really decided what I'm doing. That's part of the problem, and I just keep like moving things about based on what I'm doing, but I'm getting fed up of moving things around, so I think I need to make it a wee bit more streamlined. Rika's due 25 on Friday before a few drizzly days. You really need the rain. See, we really don't. We really don't need the rain. Like, keep it away. Keep it away. All the crops are growing really well now though. Everything's just like sprouted up in the last like week or so. All my flowers in my garden are out. So I was like, where did you come from? When did you appear? And it's been really nice. I wish we could have a little bit more of this weather, but it's really good for the calves as well. So Mr. Jem started putting the oldest calves out into fields with their mums. And I went out with him last night just to check round because he'd put a few pairs out during like the course of the day yesterday, and he just likes to check that the babies have got the idea that they need to kind of stay with their mums, and that everybody's sort of present and correct. So we took a wee rumble round last night, and there was one calf missing, and the field that they're in is like a really odd shape. It's got like a kind of dog leg, and then there's a bit up the hill, and there's a big hollow where there's a tree. So you've got to spend quite a bit of time going round. And we must have been round that field 3 times and we could not find this calf. And Mum was not in the slightest bit bothered that she did not have her calf. And we were just like, and then eventually it was tucked in like this little dog leg corner right up against the fence in the long grass, absolutely fast asleep, and was not the slightest bit bothered. So we gave it a poke, woke it up and stood it up. And normally when you do that, they kind of panic a wee bit and they start looking round for like other cows or their mum. And this little thing just kind of stood there and yawned and was like, yeah, can I help you? So we ended up going and getting Mum, who was up the hill and round the corner, and we chased her down. And it was only when the calf kind of like stretched and took a couple of steps, she was like, that's mine, okay. And then that was her, she was off. And I was like, oh my God. Took us like 45 minutes. I'm like, you've just had a baby. Like, is there any maternal instinct in there? Or are you just too busy because there's grass and that's more exciting than looking after your baby? So that was a bit of an escapade last night, but it was nice to see them all out in oceans of grass and just kind of like loving life. My little ginger biscuits, so that's my little red twins, and that was the first set of twins that were born. They're out and they are just having the best time. They are fully enjoying their freedom. They were away for a canter around the field when we went in. Really, really nice to see them. They're still quite small. but that's just because they're twins, you know, they're still quite kind of scrawny. But they'll fatten up now. They'll start to kind of like bulk out a little bit. And our very premature calf, so that was the one that was born a month early, it's absolutely fine. And he's huge, huge. So all is good in the world of the cows, which is nice as well. Ulrika's garden's really dry, yeah. Yes, the premature calf is the oldest. We take their age from when they come out because that's when we can put a registration tag on them. So their date of birth is obviously when they're registered, so that then makes it the oldest calf. Hi Patty, nice to see you. I know there's so much foliage just now, I like it. Right, let's chat a wee bit now that I've had my little chat about running and cows, which is basically my entire life just now. Let's switch down to what's going on here. So I'm going back to this gouache painting. So this was the redo of do you want a wee jock cam for a wee while? See if I can set this up. Yes. That one? Yeah, there you go. There's a wee sleepy jock. Yeah, so this was the scroller challenge that I did a couple of boxes back that I'm redoing for myself. I really haven't had an awful lot of time to myself, so this is me literally like picking up from where we left off last time. I really wanted to do some painting. I've been working a lot with pencil for the last wee while, so I've got my little brush holder dude here. He's going to assist us today. I was trying to remember how I got to this colour. This is one of the downsides of leaving things for this long, and I seem to remember it was some sort of combination of grey and maybe this purple that I pulled out. I don't know. I can't really remember. So that I'm going to kind of use that as a starting point, because what I want to do today is focus on this wall and the gate and start to get some detail in like I had originally here. This was one of the areas that I wasn't particularly happy with in this original. Part of it was to do with the consistency of the gouache and not being able to get it where I wanted it to put in the finer details, but obviously because it was a scroller challenge, it was one brush. I've got I'm going to start with this little sea white number 1, which is quite nice for things like that, but I've also pulled out one of my favourite brushes, which is this. This was a limited edition. I really wanted more of these, but I can't get them anywhere. The Calibri Black Line Synthetic, so it is a flat brush, but it's got such a nice edge on it. So for putting in, you know, for picking out the details of like each of the stones, this is going to be really handy. I've also got a liner brush that I've got tucked away to the side, like a rigger. Now she says, and then can't find it. Yeah, and that's really good for stuff like this as well, just for putting in those very fine lines. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm kind of I've got this compulsion to push to get this finished, but I don't want to rush it because that's how I ended up regretting the outcome of the last painting. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I can do so much better on this. So I am just going to take my time and get done what I can get done today, and that will be about it. A goodest boy. Yeah, he is the goodest boy, Thea. He really is the goodest boy. He's been very good today. The ratio of activity to sleep now is very much heavily weighted towards sleep. So, but that's to be expected. Papa Jem actually sent me a video the other night, and that was from the old cave. So it was taken during lockdown, and Jock's running about round one of the pickups, and Papa Jem had commented on like how active he was, and I said, well, you've got to remember though, that was 6 years ago. Jock's age was still in single digits at that point, and that was before he popped his ACL as well. It was before he had his surgery. So, you know, 6 years is a long time in doggy years. It's like, yeah, that's a good point. Right, let's see what we can do here. I remember this grey was quite dark. I hope I've got this set up well enough so that you can kind of see everything that's going on. I'll probably move stuff about. I prefer to have, see when I'm cleaning off brushes, I prefer to have the paper on this side, and I don't really understand why because I'm left-handed, but I just like it over there, which is weird. And it's not really good when you're filming videos and stuff either because you're constantly crossing over what you're doing. So yeah, no rhyme or reason to that. So I've got some water to clean my brush with. I've got my little paint puck in there, and then I've got fresh water that I can use for mixing. And I've got the rest of the colours in the little Swedish tin cup. So these are the colours that I've used previously when we did all this, and I just like to keep them to hand for mixing and blah blah blah. So let's see what we can do with this grey. I love this purple colour. Not really a big purple person, but this purple is something quite special. And that is the Winsor & Newton Brilliant Purple. So for mixing, I usually just use like a bigger cheap brush, and I like to use that to mix so that I can keep these a bit cleaner and I don't have to keep washing them off. So I say I usually use a cheaper one for that. I think that this Hemi brush is probably heading into that territory. It's quite splayed now. These Hemi brushes, they're nice to use when they're new, but they don't last very long. They don't age well. So I'll probably use this for the mixing. So I want to take a wee bit of this purple, and then just, I'm not even sure. Oh, I think that's quite close actually. Oh, that was lucky. I think I do want to make this a little bit darker, and I find when I'm working with stuff like this, it's best just to put like a wee tiny blob of black in. If you start messing about with the purple and things, it just ends up getting like purplier rather than darker necessarily. I should have black in here as well. I think it was the Arteza one I was using. Oh no, telling lies. Let me just dig about in here. Yeah, ivory black, there we go, that'll do nicely. I need there was something in there. I'll just put a tiny wee blob of this out. I've had a bit of a leakage going on here, I think. I wonder if I can get the lid off this. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Okay. I think I like that. So thinking about the stones in this wall, the wall in the original, I say reference image, I don't have a reference image, but it's a wall that I see every day. The wall is actually at the point of falling down on this side, like it's leaning out the way, and it makes the stones in the brickwork is quite haphazard, shall we say. I just want to see what this is going to sit like on there when it dries. But what I kind of want to do is start creating the sort of line of the brickwork, stonework, if you like. I'm not even that bothered about what's happening at the bottom because a lot of this is going to be covered by greenery, so I don't have to be that fussy, honestly. Just start popping that in. It looks kind of green sitting on top of there. I don't know how I feel about that. Well. Just pop a few bits in here. This really isn't essential in any way. This is just more of a guideline, because most of this is going to be covered up as well, but I always feel like you have to have some sort of starting point so that you don't go too far off track, you know. This little flat brush is just great for this as well. Maybe I should have had that line further up. Well, lopsided there. It's not bad. Right, there we go. That's that makes me happy. Just as well, really, isn't it? Hey, Green Hat, how are you? How are you recovering? Are you on the mend? Are you feeling a wee bit better? Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it, Mary. I find that the see like the stats that show on the dashboard for YouTube, they're wildly inaccurate. They obviously update every so often, and the thumbs up parts in like the completely wrong place. So, you know, it's super helpful. Super helpful. Right, so I'm going to move to this number 1. Round my faithful little sea white. Oh, that reminds me. Talking about sea white, I am absolutely delighted. I had a look through the new sea white wholesale catalogue, which arrived probably February, and I just hadn't looked at it. So obviously it's the new one for 2026, and I had a look through. I'm usually like I know what they sell. I'm fairly well versed in what they have. I've been using them for quite a long time, but I like to see what new things they've got in, and they've started stocking the Molotov masking pens. You know, the watercolor masking pens. And that's the one that I use, and some of you know, like I have a very deep set hatred for masking fluid because it usually stinks and it's gooey and it's horrible. So I'm going to order some of those because that is a product that I will proudly and happily sell all day long in the cave, because it's something that I actually use. So I was absolutely delighted to see them. I'm also going to get in some of the Concertina watercolor sketchbooks. They're just the little ones, but they're the ones that come in like a slidey case. So I'm ordering some of them as well. That's the one that I use for the Book of Pasta that I haven't done anything in for a while. So they'll probably be in if I mean I'm going to be ordering them probably in the next day or two. So if that's something you're interested in, you can keep your eyes peeled for both of those. And naturally, they will be at excellent cave prices as always. But I'm quite excited about that. Like I do get excited to see things that, you know, I'm already using. Like it's really, really nice when that happens. Love it. Right, I want to start adding in a bit more purple to this now because I want to use it to just have some discoloration in these bricks. I keep calling them bricks. They're not bricks, they're stones. Goodness sake, Jim. Oh, too much grey. Oh no. Pop a little bit of that in there. I'm very much enjoying this purple colour though. So nice. Is that too purpley? Probably. Kind of want to turn this at a slight angle as well. Again, these ones at the edge here, they're probably going to end up covered over by trees and things, but it's kind of half the fun, honestly. So I'm keeping my brush quite dry here. A little bit of texture in. Yeah. Well done, Green Hat, or did you escape unescorted? Did it make you feel like a big girl, Green Hat? After that, you realised he was a celebrity. That's hilarious. That would 100% be me. I would be like talking to someone's dog and not have a clue who they are. I met two lovely retrievers the day that I went to the Kelpies. That was last Wednesday. My friend had to go to the bathroom, so I just stood outside and waited for her. And there was a lovely lady with two very big and very floofy retrievers, and of course I was like just kind of like side eyeing them, and they came straight up to me and plonked their heads in between my knees. So I was like, "Oh hi." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, they're really friendly," and I'm like, "You're nope, you're all good. Just you send them over here." They were really big though, like for retrievers. I mean, like they were big dogs, but they were lovely, so nice. The lady was really nice as well. She was really chatty. She had a young girl with her, and I don't know whether it was maybe like her. I don't think it was her daughter, but it might have been like her niece or something like that. So they were obviously just out for a wee outing. Do love a good doggy pet. As I said to my friend afterwards when she came out the toilet, I was like, right, that's it. We can go now. I've cuddled some dogs. I can go home. She just laughed and rolled her eyes at me. It's like, yeah, you know it. You found out it was Harrison Ford. Oh, that's funny. My celebrity encounters are very much limited to my experience in a high end hotel. And obviously, we had to be very discreet with the guests. There was no fangirling. But being a chef, we very rarely got to fraternise with the customer. Well, you're not supposed to fraternise with the customers anyway, but you know what I mean. We weren't really supposed to approach them or anything. But very interesting, and 9 times out of 10, no surprises whether they were nice or just a-holes. The people that you tend to think are going to be a-holes usually are, especially when it comes to hotel service. Yeah, it's a touchy subject. Touchy subject. I did have a certain football manager who used to frequent the place. He's now dead, so I suppose I can talk about him. But he was an asshole. Like there was absolutely no way. And when we found out, we would get told he was coming. Like you could just see everyone just sort of sag a little bit. Like, oh no, here we go. And he just complained about everything and treated everybody horribly. Like he was just not a nice person. Really glad that it didn't have to deal with that for too long. On the other hand, I would just like to say every single rugby team that I have ever prepared food for are absolutely fantastic. Just really, really nice people. Gentlemen. So, yeah. I was used to, so like if someone say, oh, such and such rugby team's coming in, and we're like, yay, and then they would say such and such football team's coming in, and we're like, oh. But in more recent times, we have had higher profile people coming on shoots, and there's two. Well, there's two I'm not allowed to talk about, um, just to protect their privacy because they may come back. And one ended up not coming, but was supposed to be coming. And these are the, like, if I was to say these people names, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you would know who these people are. The one that I was really excited about was the one that ended up not coming. But again, I don't really have much to do with that. It's Mr. Jem that organises the shoot stuff along with the landowner. So I generally don't have much to do with that. But yes, so in terms of celebrityism, I don't have a lot of skin in the game really. Apart from say the odd person or two or three that I met just by chance when I was a chef. And sometimes we had to serve them at the table, which is always awkward anyway. Like, you know, you've got to do a carvery at the table or whatever, or present them with their desserts, which was usually my job. But very, very fleeting. But their behaviour within the hotel, obviously staff talk to each other, so... Oh, met Kelly Jones in an airport once. Kelly Jones as in the lead singer from the Stereophonics. Met him in an airport and was bitterly, bitterly disappointed at how short he was. Very handsome in real life though, by the way, but very short, like almost my height short. Maybe not quite my height short, but very short. I always thought he was taller for some reason. Anyway, also very nice. I don't know if I feel like this wall's getting grungy enough. I think this is going to need work. Once saw Alan Bennett in the village he lives in. Imagine that. You run into... Oh, the rugby versus football politeness follows your experience too. Interesting, Ulrika. Very interesting. So, yeah, like, William Shatner, I heard mixed reports about him. It's all very exciting, isn't it? Surprisingly, I've yet to see Ryan Reynolds. There seems to be quite a big divide in the likability of Ryan Reynolds. Some people can't stand him and other people just think he's wonderful. I don't really know where I fall on that scale, honestly. I've always been kind of like neutral. When you see him, you know, getting interviewed and whatnot, he always seems very sort of charismatic and personable. Yeah, that's true, Cal. I never even thought of that. He plays the same character. I was more attesting to his character as like in real life than his acting prowess. But yes, that is a fair point. Although to be fair, like, see, when I look at Ryan Reynolds, I just see Deadpool. Like, I don't see anything else. So yeah, there's that. More to the point, I see Deadpool in Crocs. That's like the first image that pops into my head. Right, I just want to grubby down. That's a really good term, isn't it? Grubby down. In here where these posts are. That's a new one for you, grubby down. Just to say his range is limited, yes. Always wanted to ask UK people what they think of Prince Harry. Well, to be fair, as someone who is quite close in age to him, he's like a bit younger than me. Okay, I would like to see what people are going to say in the chat because it might prevent me from having to give a really long-winded explanation of my opinion. He's a joke around here, that's in Austria. think he made a mistake. And what mistake would that be, Patty? Chad's got nothing nice to say about him. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is creating an idea for you, at least. My personal opinion is, first of all, the thing that you have to remember is that both him and his brother, their mother passed away in a spectacularly tragic fashion, and it was literally plastered all over the media for months and months and months and months, and that must have affected the two of them, you know, very, very much. It obviously did. It seems to me, though, that the way that it was handled and where the two brothers got comfort from and support from was very, very different. And Prince Harry, obviously being the younger sibling as well, he was extremely close with the Queen. It is rumoured that he was the favourite, and I think he went to her quite a lot as well. It seems to me, though, that he was very well loved when he was younger because he was this sort of, you know, like, relatable, cheeky chap. I personally think that he lost all sort of perception and reality when he decided to marry Meghan Markle. And he's just gotten a bit ridiculous. And I do think there's probably a bit of resentment there because his brother is now by far the far more popular sibling out the two of them. And I think that he has probably gotten himself into something that he can't get himself back out of. So, yeah, I think a lot of it's his own doing, honestly, but I have sympathy for the things that he has been through and the support perhaps that he got going through those things. So that's kind of where I sit. But generally speaking, he's not very well respected anymore just because of his antics. So that's kind of that opinion will differ. But again, being Scottish, I don't think we are just quite as interested in the monarchy than perhaps some of our English counterparts. Well, Ulrika, you can, and Miri and Jan, you can answer that too. I think that's quite a big part of what might form people's opinions on that situation. Personally, though, on a day-to-day basis, I couldn't give a monkey's what he does or whatever. I just think he's a bit of a plonker. And he's now in the position where I think, this is just speculation, but I think he's probably realising that he's made mistakes. You were in Edinburgh when Diana died. Wow. Okay, so you can see where I'm going with this stonework. So this is kind of more what I'm after, and it just takes time to build it up. So we be patient, and we just keep popping layers down. Build it up. I would probably agree with you as well, though, Mary. I think that most people just don't really care, to be honest. I did see a little clip of old Kingy in his speech to Congress earlier, because our esteemed King Charles is currently in the US with Trump, which he didn't want to do, by the way. And he absolutely smashed it. He made a very dry and pointed speech, and it's been noted as well, apparently Charles writes his own speeches. He doesn't have someone that writes them for him. He likes to write his own speeches. And he was very pointed in basically telling Congress without telling Congress that they need to get a lead on Trump, as in a leash. Jan was delighted when Harry married Meghan because it meant she left Suits and you hated her character. That's sound reasoning, Jan. I'll give you that. I'll allow it. I will allow it. That's really funny. I've never watched Suits. Care not a jot for the royals, but being from a military family. Okay. Okay, yes. Well, Princess Anne, she's the dudette in the chair, isn't she? She's the goat. Everybody loves a bit of Princess Anne. Again, I remember it must have been just after the Queen died, and someone had put together a montage of all the moments where the Queen and Anne kind of like butted heads in public. And you can see that the Queen's clearly said something to her, and she's like pulled a face at her. Really, really funny. She's very feisty, but obviously very well respected for everything that she has done and does. Yeah, again, I think I was never really a fan of Charles when he was Prince Charles, but I actually think he's coming into his own a wee bit now. She wants the fairy tale. You're talking about Meghan, yeah. She wanted all the good bits of being married to a royal, but didn't actually want to toe the line. To be fair though, I mean, I get that Harry was absolutely sick of life as a monarch as well. I think he just wanted kind of out of it, but maybe not the best way of doing it, shall we say. Yeah, well, there was that. That I was very much influenced, Cal, because this is the thing. Obviously, at the age that I was at, I didn't know anything about the whole Charles and Camilla situation, and my parents had quite strong opinions on that because Diana was obviously she was just a sweetheart, and that she really didn't deserve, what happened. So I think that probably influenced my opinion quite a bit. But I just kind of saw him as a more useless and slightly more politically correct version of Philip of the Duke of Edinburgh, who was just a cantankerous old so-and-so, and he was like that even when he was younger. So I didn't really hold him in any kind of regard, honestly. But I think he is within the confines of his reach, because they're the monarchy, they're not really allowed to do anything anymore. I think he's doing an okay job. You think Diana was an art manipulator who knew exactly how to play the media? Really? Well, that's interesting, Mary. Now, Mary has a journalist background, so this is important. That is so interesting. Can you elaborate on that, please? I would be really interested to hear what you have to say. I just think she was too young. I just think they should never have gotten married. It wasn't a good match, I don't think. Do you think so? I don't know. I never thought I would be having a discussion about the monarchy. This is really interesting. I mean, I'm really not that interested in the monarchy as a whole. I just really like Charles doing his thing with Congress. It's like, yeah. I do like the fact as well, though, that William and Kate have. I think they've adapted quite well to you know, to trying to change into like a sort of more modern monarchy. I think they're doing a good job, because that's a hard thing to do. Again, they've loads of, you know, things that they're supposed to stick to, and they've sort of like given it a bit of a twos up. And I think they're doing a fantastic job as trying to become more modern royals. Definitely. And I've got quite a lot of respect for them for that as well. Not a job I would fancy myself, thanks very much. Far too outspoken to be a royal. Aside from obviously the breeding and heritage issue. Charles should have been allowed to marry Camilla instead of having to marry a broodmare. Yeah, that's a good point. She just looked a bit simpering and ick. Well, as long as we don't start any conversations about Andrew, I think we'll be fine. So from Elise's point of view, obviously being in the States, hoping he will take the kids and move back to England away from Meghan, that's an interesting viewpoint as well. So this is a question for Elise or for anybody else in the US that might be in the chat just now. What is your perception of Harry and Meghan then? I would be really interested to hear it from the other side. Harry, that is. I don't think he'll divorce her, but I bet you she'll divorce him. Given the right circumstances and the right amount of money. It's Edward and Wallace Simpson all over again, but in an internet age. All very interesting. Well, at least we're not talking about like boobies and things this time. Not that I'm concerned. If you do want to talk about boobies, that's absolutely okay. We've all got them by the looks of things. I don't think we've got any gents in the chat today, actually. To be fair, I'm not Camilla's biggest fan, but I think she also carries herself very well, especially under these circumstances. Which royal has the biggest boobs then? I don't think any of them have got any boobs, have they? I've never looked at any of the royals' boobs. I can say that with 100% certainty. Another interesting and useless fact for you as well, if you're over the gaming world, when the latest Zelda game was released, they did not release the title in the UK out of respect, because the title was Tears of the Kingdom, and it was because the Queen had just died. So there you go. It's a very Japanese thing to do. So there you go. I don't know if any of you knew that or not, but they didn't actually release the title. They obviously just put out, you know, like Zelda on the Switch or whatever, and it was only a couple of days later that they actually started putting the logo and things out for the UK. Hey, Pixel Art JJ. Do we want JJ or do we want Pixel? Thank you though, that's very nice of you. This is a redo. This was an original that was done for the Scroller Challenge, and we making it better. I always wondered if the Queen would have to send herself a telegram. when she hit 100. Okay, Pixel, welcome. Nice of you to join us. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we used to laugh about that all the time. I used to talk to my gran about that. So that's my Scottish grandmother, my mum's mum, and because she was up there and she was disgusted about the thought about getting a telegram from the Queen. And she said that if she did make it to 100, she would send it right back. I don't know why, but that was... She didn't like that idea at all for whatever reason. She made it to 98 though, so she never had to worry about it. The suit is dead released the day before we had to pull the whole campaign. Oh, bet that was expensive. I think monarchy. And that's the best thing. Like, obviously, these are just my opinions. I don't know all that much about the monarchs, to be honest. Again, I've not really ever paid that much attention in all honesty. I'm getting the feeling with this already that I'm going to be more dissatisfied with this side of the wall than this side. I can feel it already. I'm a bit like that with my trees. Like, I like the trees on this side better than this side. So maybe if this is a crappy wall, then that'll balance things out and I'll be a bit happier. Hey Maxie, how you doing? Who are we talking about? I've lost part of this monarchy thread. Miri, who are you talking about now? Are we talking about Harry? Ari? Or are we talking about Andrew? Right, okay, now I'm really confused. That serves me right for not paying attention to the chat. I've just dripped water on that. No! Oh no! It's alright, there'll be a tree there, it'll be fine. Pay attention, Jim. Harry, Beatrice and Eugenie, okay. Oh, it's getting warmer with you too, Max. Yeah, we talked about that a bit at the beginning of the stream. Everyone seems to have quite good weather, and it's starting to warm up a little bit. It's lovely. It's lovely here in Scotland today. It's about 17 degrees outside, which is basically summer for us. So, you know, we're happy. I think the only fellow Scot that we've got in the chat is Susan, but Susan concurs. Excuse me. Yeah, it'll be fine, April. Absolutely fine. This is one of the things I really like about doing stuff like this, because you've got a lot of freedom. It feels very Bob Ross-esque in that sense, and it's like, oh well, we can just put a happy little tree here. You know, you've got that freedom, and all, as long as I've got the basis of the original reference image, like I know what that looks like. So basically, as long as the gate's there and it's got this light source behind it, then everything else can kind of just like come and go with the flow. And I, like if you look back to this original painting, I'm not absolutely set on having a really big tree there and a broken stump there. I might move them about a bit. I'll just wait and see how I feel. But that's one of the reasons I like painting these type of sort of like slightly fantasy landscapes, because sometimes you just balls things up as well, and you need something to cover it up. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But it's not going to be anything that looks out of place or whatever. Or maybe you just feel like putting a purple tree somewhere, because that happens too. So, you know, that lovely freedom. And I've said this before, but it gives me almost like a sense of rebellion, because in my day-to-day life, I like to be very regimented. I'm very routine-based and process-based, and I take a lot of comfort in that. And being able to do stuff like this is my way to express my waywardness in a safe and sensible environment. So I'm really, like, I don't get too concerned about stuff like that. There is a huge difference though when you dump a whole cup of water over something and it ruins it, you know, like that. Yeah, that's a problem. But wait, for things like that, like, you just don't worry about it. Like, nothing bad's gonna happen. It's okay. Just chill out a bit. I just really wanted to spend some, you know, some time on this and have a much higher level of detail in it, because it was something that I felt was really rushed and not accurate enough. The way I would describe the wall in this is blobby. Like, I just feel as if I was kind of like slapping paint down in the end up, because I was struggling with the paint consistency and I was struggling with the brushes. Again, the Hemi brushes are great, but I just didn't have what I needed, which was a weeny brush. So yeah. But we're gonna make it pretty. I thought Patty meant the Epstein friend, but it was me. It was through an Andrew, to be fair. It was me that threw that curveball in. Green hat, 18 degrees here, due to be wet the weekend, because of course it is. Yeah, we're the same. The weather's to break on Saturday, and we're going back to the good old Scottish word. It's to be dreich. Which is, I don't mind, honestly. I'm actually not much of a sun worshipper, truthfully. I get fed up of the sun very quickly. It doesn't hold much of a novelty for me. I like to sit out with a book, or, you know, a sketchbook or whatever, for a little while, but I don't know. I try to look after my skin as well. I do take a tan very quickly. Like, it doesn't take much for me to be out in the sun before I go brown. Assuming that's just my Italian genes. I am very pale in the winter, which is definitely my Scottish genes, but I go brown fairly quickly. It doesn't take much. So even from that perspective, you know, if you're talking about vanity, I always wear sunscreen. And I keep saying to people, if I've got Italian lineage and I can burn in the sun, y'all should be wearing some sort of sunscreen. I don't care what you tell me. So it's more about protecting my skin, so obviously it's better not to sit in the sun. But see if you can get under a nice shady tree with your watercolours or something. It's nice to be outside, but the actual sunshine itself, I get cheesed off with it very quickly, and I'm like, can you just stop, like, infiltrating my eyeballs, please? Go away, leave me alone. It's not so bad now where we are here, but when I stayed much further north in the summer, it was relentless. It's like every time you opened your eyes it was light, and I found it very intrusive, and I did not like it at all. Because during the summer, when we were up north, I mean, it was still like 11:30 at night. It was ridiculous. I'm like, oh, please. So I'm actually not all that bothered about the sun. It is nice to have the milder and better weather though, and again, as I was saying earlier, spring and autumn are my favourite times to run. Also, when you're working with the cattle as well, it's the best time, because you don't get the really hot temperatures, which causes heat stress in the animals, which is something that you really don't want in cows. If a cow goes down, they're very difficult to get back up. So I'm definitely much more of a temperate weather lover. So I don't mind a few days of overcast. The one thing I hate about staying here specifically, and I mention it, see when it rains here, specifically on this part of the East Coast, because we're kind of sheltered. We're kind of like tucked in a bit, and the northern part above the Tay protects us from a lot of the bad weather. But see when it rains, it's like I could spit on myself and get myself wetter. It's just not proper rain. And you're always in this limbo of, is it actually raining or is it not raining? And it only lasts 5 minutes. So you're damp, but you haven't actually, you haven't been properly rained on. And as a West Coaster, I have got webbed toes. When it rains, it rains. So when it comes absolutely down in buckets here, I talk about, oh, this is like proper Ayrshire rain. And I just wish the weather would make its mind up. It's like either stay dry or don't bother trying, because you're annoying me. That's one thing I really don't like about the East Coast. It's like, if you're going to rain properly, do us all a favour so we can put some waterproofs on and just get on with the fact and accept that it's raining, not this, oh, I'm going to rain for 5 minutes and it's going to be a pitter patter, but I'm going to do it 16 times throughout the day just to annoy you. Yeah, that really, it really irritates me. Like, it really, really, like, brain properly. Speaking of raining, here's Martine. Martine's used to a bit of the wetter weather. I don't know if you got my rant there, Martine, about rain. Oh yeah, Lisa's a redhead. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I know the drill for you. That's funny. Unless you've got a nice big tree. Yep. Then you can manage 15 minutes outside. That, well, I have to say though, and I do find that's something that's changed for me as well. See, when I was much heavier, I mean, obviously I'm still heavy, but when I was much heavier, my heat tolerance was even worse than it normally is. But when we were in Cyprus, so that was in November, that was when I broke my elbow. I actually found, well, for the first 2 days before I was in a dirty great big cast, it was unseasonably warm when we were there, and we were away climbing up rocks and stuff, and I was absolutely fine. And normally I wouldn't be. So take from that what you will, but it was, I mean, we were walking about in a good sort of 26, 27 degrees, but like being active in that, which normally I would be like, no, why am I not dead yet? So I don't know where my tolerance is maybe increasing as I get older, but when I had that cast on, I couldn't, like, I just couldn't, because I was in a cast from there, like, up to my shoulder, because it was my elbow that was broken, and it was itchy, it was sweaty, and I always felt like I was going to pass out, and I overheated really, really quickly. So I couldn't walk very far because it started to throb as well, and I had to, like, zigzag and stick to patches of shade where I could, like I was just trying to keep myself cool. It was a bit unfortunate, but generally though, I didn't find the weather unbearable at all. Because I always say as well, and I'm sure most of you will agree, it's one thing being in hot weather that you're not used to if you're not doing anything. It's an entirely different thing to be working in it or be active in it. And that's always been the thing for me. Like, I can lie on a beach at 29 degrees if that's what you want me to do. I won't enjoy it, but I can do it. I'll just read a book or something. I find it very boring. But to hell with like walking up cobbled streets in Italy in 29 degrees. Like, no, 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 none of that. I just hate being bathed in sweat as well, and being of Italian descent, I am a sweaty person. It's not nice. It's really, really not nice. Sweating when you're running's a completely different thing though. It's different. But like, see when you're on holiday and you're walking about and you've got your cute little shorts on or whatever. No, 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 none of that. Well, but the thing is though, Thea, I'm like, you've got to be, I appreciate what you're saying, and that's very kind of you to say. But even like, I know we had the conversation about BMI before, but that aside, I am still very overweight. And I have to be realistic about that. I'm just less heavy than I was before. Which is fine also, because that was the other thing. Do you know, I was talking about that video of Jock earlier that Papa Jem sent me. I'm walking through the yard. Pip had obviously run off with something because I'm yelling at her, like I'm proper shouting at her. But that was like when I was at my biggest, and the words came out my mouth like out loud. And it was just like me and Mr. Jem sitting in the living room, and I was like, oh my god, look how big I was there. So I appreciate how far that I've come, but I have to be aware that I am not. I am not like anywhere near a normal weight just now, but I appreciate the sentiment behind it. Yeah, humidity, that's gonna do you in every time. Like 100%. Well, your wrist usually, Cal. Yeah. It was like a fluffy cast though. Like, it was awful. So, and they kind of like padded it with cotton wool as well, which made it worse. But do you know what was really, really good for having a scratch is, see when you go to the bars and you get those little neon swizzle sticks, you know, like the cocktail mixer sticks that they leave in your drinks. I had one of those wedged like up here in my cast, so that like the top of it just poked out here, and I used to whip it out and stick it down like up at my shoulder to scratch my arm. Boss has gone home, chat roulette's over for the day. Well, that's taking some excitement out your day, Jan. Oh yeah, love the neon swords. I was talking about the long ones with like the round, like the flat lollipop bit on the top. That's what I had. So like, oh, such a satisfying scratch though. The doctor, the Cypriot doctor had told me specifically, like, don't stick anything down and don't try and scratch it because you might displace the bone. I did not listen. Like 100% did not listen. Uh, the irony is though that my elbow is still not right. I'm going for physio on Friday morning through the NHS because it's not right. The bone itself, I've been for another x-ray and the bone is fine, but the stuff round about it really, really isn't. I still can't straighten my arm fully. And I've got hypermobility in my elbows, so when I straighten my arm out, it's an obtuse angle, like over my elbow. So for me not to even be able to straighten it, like, you know, something's not right. And when I do try and straighten it, my arm shakes uncontrollably. And it's just because I've got no strength in any of the muscles because it had been, obviously because it had been not incapacitated, what's the word, immobilised. So yeah, fun and games, love it. You always had a couple of those in the bar. Best of luck, April. Yeah, it's not fun, Mary. Like 0 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. I mean, I'm managing okay with it. Like day to day, it's not causing me a lot of problems. It's just a bit awkward, and I know it's not right. Like I can feel it, and when it clicks, it's really, really painful. And again, my pain threshold's pretty good. I've just gone through kidney stones with very little pain relief, and you know, wasn't really a thing. But I mean, it was bloody sore, but you know, my pain threshold's quite good. But when it clicks, I'm like, oh, good lord. That's not pleasant at all. I'm really, really thankful that it's my right elbow though, being left-handed. If it was my left elbow, I think it would be causing me a lot more problems. And thankfully this thumb has healed beautifully and I've got no issues with it at all. I'm really, really grateful for that because obviously my left hand, it doesn't it doesn't really work very well either at the best of times. So yeah, like it's kind of heaved a bit of a sigh of relief for that one. Like, oh god, what else can go wrong? But yeah, not fun. Like, not fun at all. Having like wibbly wobbly joints. I can imagine. Obviously, Mary, it's a bit more severe for you, but your wrists doing something similar. Oh god. Bye, April. Thanks for coming. I'm waving at the camera, and then I realise I've still got Jock's camera on. I'm waving to you. I tell you what though, see that kidney stone pain. So I'm talking about the pain from the episode, like when I first, you know, had pain, which was the worst part. We now think that was me actually like passing the stones because it was never as painful as that again. But see that pain, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. That was rough. I was like, oh my. I say the fact that it makes you vomit as well, that's quite interesting. I've never been in so much pain that it's made me puke. Until that point. So that was fun. I say 0 out of 10, would not recommend. I think I want to be a bit more purple here. I'm kind of just in like a gooey grey swampy mess here, but it's kind of working for me, so I'm happy to just keep doing it. It's like getting stuck. Well, this was the thing, that's the way I would describe the initial pain. Like you feel as if someone's like really going for you, but it's, my pain was right up like at the back of my rib cage, like it was quite high up. But it after, like, it comes in waves as well, so you get this like split second of respite and you think, oh, I'm okay, and then it just starts all over again and you're like, oh, I'm totally not okay. It's so weird. I've still to go for a CT scan for that as well. I have not had anything through from our wonderful NHS. But at some point I'll get summoned for that as well. So between the physio and kidney stones, I've been doing quite well from a health service just recently. Appreciate the fact you're taking all these health issues so I don't have to. Well, breaking your elbow's not really a health issue. That was just a bit of a disaster. I say most things that I've had wrong with me, it's usually injury related. The kidney stones things, that's the first thing that I've really had that, you know, I've been like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't my fault. Like, I didn't do anything on purpose. I can't even begin to imagine what a painful spleen feels like. Good grief. Yes, Elise, we're the same as England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So we have our National Health Service. It is free at the point of care. And I have to say it is very area dependent, but generally speaking, our service is very, very good. Also in Scotland, prescriptions are free and they aren't in England. So if you've been to your GP, like, you know, your practice doctor, and they give you antibiotics, you just toddle round the corner to the nearest pharmacy and hand your prescription in, and they give you the drugs and you walk away and that's it. Oh, it's free in Wales as well? I didn't know that, Cal. I don't even know how much a prescription is in England now. When I lived in England, it was £8 for a prescription. I don't know if that's still... Ulrika will be able to tell us. But yeah, prescriptions have always been free in Scotland as well, which is... It's kind of nice. It's interesting though, because I was chatting to someone about this the other day, someone who's of a pensionable age, and they were saying that although we have free prescriptions, as a people, we seem to be quite aware of it, and doctors are prescribing things like paracetamol to people, and a lot of people won't take the prescription, they'll just go and buy the paracetamol because it's really, really cheap. That's just like our over-the-counter, you know, everyday painkillers when you can buy them in the supermarket. So that I'm saying this for Elise's benefit. So I think we are quite aware of it, but we are very lucky in that we don't pay for our prescriptions. Ulrika's got a prepayment certificate. Yeah, I knew those were a thing. Ah, Maxie, of course I forgot you're in the Midlands, and £9 and 10, oddly specific. £9.90 per item, good grief. Yeah, so Thea being in Austria, Thea's healthcare system's like kind of half and half. It's the same in Sweden as well as Austria. And you guys in the US have just got such a rough ride with stuff like that. Like, we see all this stuff in the media, and sometimes like you don't really want to believe it, but the hoops that you have to go through for healthcare is wild, absolutely wild. They also don't prescribe hay fever medication anymore. Interesting. So Ulrika bulk buys. I suppose that'll be more convenient as well, though, Ulrika, rather than having to, you know, to take a, you know, like, oh, I've got to go and pay for this one, and then I've got to pay for this one. Yeah, I have to say the US healthcare system, it scares me. I'm not gonna lie. I can't imagine having to make a decision about whether to call an ambulance based on whether you can afford, because I'm assuming, again, at least correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that there'll be part of it that you have to pay out of pocket, like an excess. Your insurance doesn't automatically like just cover everything. $152 a week. So you have insurance through your work. Okay, right. And you have a $6,000 deduction. Wow. That's a lot of money. Yeah, because I remember I used to work with a girl from the US. She was from South Carolina, and she was saying that like having a baby is really expensive. So we were laughing and joking and being like, ah, ha, ha, yeah, you know, having kids is expensive. And she's like, no, no, going to the hospital and having a baby is expensive. I was like, oh, really? $1.1 million, goodness me. You get 4 items a month, so it works out much cheaper. But that makes sense. That's a pretty good system as well. Wild. Absolutely wild. Right guys, it's just after 4, so I'm going to take a little break. My back's starting to hurt a bit. I do find my back gets stiff the days I've been running, and I just need to go and straighten myself up and have a wee walk about. That was a very minor scratch, Thea. Oh. $10,000 and $15,000 just to have a baby. That's wild. That is wild. Right guys, I'm just going to go and stretch my legs a wee bit. I'll go and check on Pip, make sure she's okay, because as usual she's at the opposite end of the house. I'll probably just leave Jock where he is, because he looks quite happy. You are now you now have the ability to proceed and talk about food, what you're having for dinner, what you've had for your breakfast, all that kind of stuff, and I will be back in just a jiffy, so just bear with me guys. Ooh, we're talking about the food. Tagliatelle. Yeah. Love it. Love a bit of basil. Spinaccio. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Jock's vacated the premises, so you've got to look at my face. Look at the I cannot get over my hair. Like oh my goodness. I cannot wait to get it cut. Oh, that reminds me also, I know there's, oh, no, I was going to say there's only a handful of you in, there's 22 in now. After I'm finished the stream, I will be putting up the live stream schedule for May. I am going to go ahead and do the next Lego and Chill stream on Friday night. So I will be all physioed out by then. But also I'm getting my hair cut on Friday afternoon, so at least I'll have decent hair on Friday night for the stream. I'll be freshly cut, which should be quite nice. So if any of you want to join us on Friday night, I mean the chat's pretty much the way the chat is just now, to be fair. It's just I'll be building Lego instead of painting. I know that doesn't interest some of you at all, understandably, but I really enjoyed last Friday night. It was really good. I think I'll be going minus the beer this time though. It didn't really sit well with me, honestly. So I'll maybe just stick to a soft beverage instead this Friday night. Shorn Gem. It's not going to be anything drastic. I've got a wedding to go to in June, so I'm keeping the length because my hair's getting quite long again. And it's just because it's easier to like do an updo with it. But this, like I'm supposed to have a fringe, and I've just like this just hangs, and I pin it up with Kirby grips most of the time now because it's just hanging in my face, and it just. My hair doesn't, see, because it's wavy and it's thick, when it gets like this, it just sort of goes like that, and it never sits right. And one of the things I absolutely love about getting my hair cut, like my hairdresser knows my hair really well now, and the day after I get it cut, see, when I wake up in the morning, I just go like that with it and it just sits and it's amazing. I'm like, yes. Like so easily pleased it's untrue. Minnie's got salady bits. That's okay. Like I don't expect everyone to like appear religiously like it's not a thing. It's okay. Right, so we're going to change gear a bit for this, which is now the last 45 minutes, and I'm going to mix some green for the door, and I'm also going to mix that a wee bit more and start putting some sort of mossy parts and things on this wall. That was really all I was looking to achieve today, so if I can get that done, I will be a happy wee camper. In terms of green, I don't know whether I want to mix my own. I've got really nice greens, so hang on till I go get me other paints. So I'm very organised. I've got my my gouache greens all in one tub. And on another note, success story, you'll see that I've got my Jack Daniels t-shirt on. This has been too tight for me to wear for quite some time. It's I've always been able to get it on, but it's a unisex t-shirt, so it's, you know, a straight up and down t-shirt, and it was really, really tight over my tummy and my hips. And I've got room in there now. So I'm like, yeah, you can put it on. I tried on a few bits just in the last couple of days, you know, things that I haven't worn for a while that were just a wee bit on the tight side, and all of it fits me, so that's really good. Really happy about that, because I'm back to this point now where I'm kind of like in between sizes. I'm not a 16 anymore, but I'm not quite a 14 yet. Like I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. And I don't know about the rest of you, but UK clothes sizes are just a nightmare at the best of times. But really pleased to be able to get this back on and wear it comfortably. Right, okay, anywho's. I think I really want to use this Holbein gouache because it's fantastic. Like, Holbein gouache is well worth the money. It is quite expensive. But this is more of a, like, what I would call a viridian green. You know, like a dual toned green, and I think that'll fit in better with purple than you know, like an olive green or whatever. So I'm going to use that as a starting point. And again, it's just very similar to the colour palette that I'd used when we were in here. Cow's hairdresser jokes her your hair grows while she's cutting it. Oh, you were admiring the t-shirt? Yeah, thank you. I do like this t-shirt. It's made, it's like proper thick t-shirt material. I like it. It's a high quality item, so I'm really glad to get it back on. I won this t-shirt as well. They were doing like a promotion. I think it must have been around Christmas, and it was on the Jack Daniels bottles. You know, you lift the tab and the code and all of the rest of it. I won a t-shirt. So I do like it. I'm still really upset about my shirt. Some of you may remember and know Terry, who pops in sometimes. Terry is she is resident of Hawaii, but her two nephews work for Jack Daniels, and she sent me a massive goodie bag at one point. And her nephews had just like put all this stuff together, and there was what I would call a western shirt, so like a cowboy shirt with a nice pearl stud buttons and everything, and it had the Jack Daniels logo embroidered on it, and it's got embroidery across the back. And that used to fit me. It was an XL, but it used to fit me, and it got far too big for me quite quickly. So that now belongs to Mr. Jem. And see, when we go out somewhere, see if he wants to be like kind of smart casual, he always puts that shirt on, and I just kind of look at him and I'm like, I hate you. So I'm still a bit upset about that, but I'm really glad I could get my t-shirt back on. I've also got a vest as well, like a summer vest, so no sleeves at all, which I would only wear in very hot weather, but it's quite small. It's smaller than this t-shirt, but hopefully by the end of the summer I'll be able to get into it, because I'd really like to wear that. Obviously I'm a jeans and boots kind of gal, you know, I'm a country gal, so jeans and boots and a little Jack Daniels vest's perfect for the summer for me, especially when I'm just floating about not doing anything. So looking forward to that as a wee goal. Right, let's enjoy the wonders of what is Holbein gouache. Super thick, super rich. Only need a tiny wee bit of water in it just to get it moving about. That's very dirty, we can't have that. Ulrika's hair is currently very Springer Spaniel. I love it. Yeah, it's a very pleasant feeling, green hat, because I'm very much I get sort of emotionally attached to things, and it happens most with clothes and vehicles, weirdly. And I've hung on to a lot of stuff, even from when I was big, because I really like it, and I like the fabric, because I'm weird about fabric against my skin. There's some things like I don't like the feel of. And it's nice that some of the small stuff I can get back into. I mean, there's still a long way to go. I found a pair of jeans the other day. I do not remember a time in any recent history where I've fitted into these jeans. And you know that way I held them up and I was like, did my bum ever, like my thighs and my bum ever actually fit in there? But they must have done at some point. And I found photos from a night out, and it was like I was in my late 20s, so it was over 10 years ago. And I'm sitting looking at these jeans like, why did I keep these jeans? So I thought, just for a giggle, I'll try them on and like see how far up my body I can get them. And the minute I slid them over my calves, I was like, I remember why I kept these jeans, because they feel nice against my legs. So, but yeah, I think they're maybe like a 10 or a 12. So I've got a bit to go before I'll be putting them back on. But yeah, I really like that, because I tend to keep things for a reason. So it's a bit strange, but yeah. Fluffy brown random curls, yeah. Well, I noticed earlier my ponytail's quite wavy. I don't know if you can see that or not. Like, it's super, super wavy. But these bits are quite straight, and it's because I had it all pinned up on top of my head earlier. I washed my hair after I went for my run this morning, and I kind of like just pinned it up damp, so that's why I've ended up in this sort of situation. My purple's holding out really well. On this, like this bottom part, but I'm starting to fade here, but I've been out in the sun running, so kind of knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I do it with a lot of stuff. I've actually got two green t-shirts, and they're both like what I would call a marl fabric, so it's like green and grey, kind of almost fleck. And I kept the one from when I was at my largest, and it was just like for posterity, but I also kept it because it's like a nice jersey fabric and I like wearing it. I wear it in bed now. But I bought another one. It's a different brand, but it's very similar, and it's a bit smaller, so that's the one like I wear day to day now. But I was like, must have another green t-shirt in this fabric just because I like it and it feels nice and I can put it on and not think about it. But the big one is big. Like, there was a point where that was tight on me, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay. But I still want to wear it, but it doesn't sit like it does. It's a V-neck, and like the neck kind of like sits at like an odd angle because obviously it's too big for me. I can't get away with it, kind of thing. If I could, I would still wear it though, 100%. For you, it's a white shirt. It's a men's one, but a lovely, soft, slightly silky. It's been a very long time since I could fit in it. Funnily enough, I've got a shirt like that as well, but it's a black one, and it's a men's Next shirt, and it sits really well over my bust, and it doesn't crease easily, and I've kept that. I'm almost, in fact, maybe I'll try that one on. I've got a really nice waistcoat that goes with it as well. It's almost like tweed. It's from Joe Brown's. If any of you in the UK have seen Joe Brown stuff, and I tend to wear the black shirt with the waistcoat. I don't know if I get into that. I maybe have to like drop another couple of kilos. But that's a good point. I'm gonna try that on. Find out. Right. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Let's get this out of the way. I was getting excited about how clothes feel. Right, let's get this. This is such a pretty colour, like a really pretty colour. I do want it to be dark initially though. And again, I'm using this flat brush because I can get what looks like the planks because the gate is made of wood. Oh, look at that. We've almost got like a watercolour-y effect there. Absolutely smashing. Love it. Again, in real life, this gate is very haphazard is maybe the word I would use. It's very old and it hasn't been green for a very long time, but we still call it the green, well, we call it the green door, not the green gate. I have on good authority that it was green at one point though. So I'm going to have a little overlap as well. Again, I really want detail and depth with this because this is really the, you know, the center point. It's the focal point of the image. So, but we'll work on this as we go. And I want to leave that deliberate gap there so that you can see the light shining out from under it. Mirrie's vicious and chucks stuff away with ease. Well, send it for recycling though. I think keep her like sports related shirts and band t-shirts. Lace up granny boots and teal velvet on sale, all from Joe Brown's. Do you know, I used to get a lot of stuff from Joe Brown's, and I do find that their jeans are really good quality. I have to get them taken up, but they fit me very well on a waist to thigh ratio because I always struggle for thigh room in trousers. Because my waist's a hella smaller than my thighs are. But Joe Brown stuff, it just seems to fit my shape. And I mean, I've got jeans that I've had from them for absolute years, but I've found that more recently their stuff's not as good quality. Do any of you remember the baggy V-neck sweat, like knitted sweaters I was wearing? I had an orange one and I've got a teal one now. They've fallen to pieces like and like lost their shape really, really quickly. But I've found that their new stuff isn't as good quality. Their t-shirts as well don't sit well on me, and again it's just because I've got a bust. If I get something that fits me across the bust, the neck pulls down here and they're really wide round my waist, again proportions, and they don't sit well on me at all, but highly recommend them for jeans. 17 quid down from 70. Mr. Jem's got a leather jacket from Joe Brown's as well, and he loves it, and he's had it for a couple of years now, and it's really good quality as well. The stuff's expensive though, and I just feel that with like, especially their knitwear, the price doesn't reflect the quality, whereas with the jeans I feel that it does. Yeah, no, I think certain things, Mirrie, are still really good. See, they're kind of smarter stuff, because like their waistcoats, I love a good waistcoat. Their waistcoats are still really good quality, but I find they're more generic stuff. So like t-shirts and say jumpers for me is where I've noticed it. They're just not as good. Okay, that's a fairly good start there. I want to make the bottom a bit more uniform but raggedy, so I'm going to use like the corner of the brush, just to kind of even the planks up a bit, but show that they're obviously they've seen some things, these slats on this gate, and maybe pull that up a bit there. Didn't really need the sound effect for that, but did it anyway. Okay, that's fairly happy with that as a base colour. Right, so now I'm going to leave that to dry. Give it a waft. The Scottish expression is waft it with your bonnet, so that a bonnet's your hat, so refers to having a flat cap and using it. Usually used when you're trying to cool soup down. Waft it with your bonnet. Anyway. Military style coat. Yeah, see again, I used to have a Joe Brown's coat. That was one of the things I gave away. I bought this lovely wool coat, and again, it was when I was really big, and I wore it for one winter. Again, not being a fan of having a lot of layers on. I think I wore it maybe like 3 times, and I actually gave that to some. It was the barmaid in the pub's mum. She had lost weight and was looking for something smart to wear, but she didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I was like, look, I don't want any money for this coat. It was quite an expensive coat, but I was like, please just give it to your mum and she can pass it on to someone when she's lost more weight as well. The tunic tops I find are good for the larger bust. That's really interesting. I hate tunic tops because they make me look bigger than I am, because they sit out across my bust and then just like hang down, and they make my middle look massive. Or some, do you remember the baby doll tops that were really popular at one point? They made me look as if I was pregnant, like quite heavily pregnant. I'm not a fan of them at all. I like things that are form fitting, because if I wear something that's loose, it makes me look a lot bigger than I actually am, because I've got big boobs and because I've got big thighs. But the bit in between my boobs and my thighs is actually a little bit smaller, you know? Mary had one of those handkerchief bottom smart tops with foxes on it. It was gorgeous. Oh, okay. Stringy bits. And mostly just in yoga pants and comfy t-shirts. They always wanted a baby doll top. I absolutely hated them, and I hated that they were in fashion. Like, oh, detested them. Yeah, I'm just, see, the other thing as well is, like, you've got to remember, for me on a day-to-day basis, I'm usually here in the cave. I spend most of my hours in here. If I'm not in here, I'm either running, walking the dogs, or I'm out wrestling cows. Like, I don't have, my wardrobe very much reflects that, and I'm a no-nonsense wardrobe kind of person. Like, I don't like frilly things, I don't like patterns, I don't like flowery things. Like, give me a good shirt and a good pair of boots and I am happy. And people describe my dress sense as tomboyish, and it very, very much is. So a lot of the time I'm not really that fussed. I prefer jewellery. Like, I'm much more into like putting in earrings or something around my wrist or whatever. And I just find that my shape, which is an hourglass, it's so difficult to find stuff. And I just, honestly, I can't be bothered. The cows don't really appreciate it either, honestly. Ulrika lives in t-shirts and Marks and Spencer's jeans. You can get long legs. Well, interesting you should say that. Very unfashionable now, but I tried a pair of the Marks and Spencer's jeggings. Again, I like jeggings because when I'm outside I always wear like tall boots, which obviously come up almost to my knee, so if I always wear skinny jeans or jeggings because it means I don't have fabric to tuck in. And the Marks and Spencer's short jeggings fit me so well, and I'm really pleased I found them, and they do them in loads of colours as well. So yeah, also a thumbs up for Marks and Spencer's. Enjoy your lunch, Elise. We'll see you soon. You'd have to force me to wear jeans, never been a fan. No, like I say, I'm the opposite. You can pry jeans off my cold dead body. Oh no, I can't, like, I can't imagine life without jeans. Like, that is my absolute default. Jeans and a t-shirt, or jeans and a shirt or a blouse, whatever you want to call it. Usually with a jumper on top most of the year. That's me, basically. Do like a good blazer or a waistcoat, as I've said. But yeah, not really into like what I call floaty crap. Like, I'm not really into feminine clothes. Although I can pull off a good dress if it's the right shape. I do not enjoy wearing skirts and dresses at all, like ever. Like, just no. Nope, 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 not a thing for me. Right, I'm going to pop a little bit of white into this Holbein paint. Going to rugby league. Cal's got a t-shirt that says, if I was saying and skinny, I'd be unstoppable. Y'all are lucky I'm chubby and crazy. Yoga pants or wide leg trousers. Well, again, wide legs are a no for me because I'm short. I've got wide leg jeans that I quite like, though, I have to say. My favourite t-shirt that I own, which again I've had for years, by the way, it's green, and it says on it, everyone loves a little Italian, and then there's a picture of Super Mario next to it. I don't fit into that t-shirt, but that is a goal. It is one of my favourite t-shirts ever, and it was an old friend that gave that to me, actually, as a Christmas present. I can't get the lid off this white. That's just not coming off at all. This is why we just use the Talons white, because it always opens. Let me try. Oh, there we go. Yay. Oh, I must have done something there. There's not very much left in this tube anyway. This is just the wee teaser white. Oh, goodness me. Oops. Kind of overdid it a wee bit there. I think I'll probably bin that afterwards anyway. It's kind of done. The neck's all crunkled. A very descriptive word for you. So we'll just use that up. Thea likes jumpsuits. Well, again, I'm not. I just don't have the proportions for them at all. Oh no. Rika's got some wide leg M&S jeans you wear over your knee brace. Oh yeah. Wide leg jeans are so in fashion just now. And I've got to laugh at the kids just now because they're like, ew, we're so fashionable. And I'm like, you're literally wearing what I was wearing when I was like 15 or 16. Like, you're not original, it's not new. Like, we were doing this years ago. It's really nice to pull out all your old stuff and be like, yeah, look how cool I am. Again, cool auntie, what can you say? But yeah, no, I think the wide leg jean thing specifically, if I was going out somewhere, it's nice that I can wear that and it's fashionable in inverted commas. But I don't wear them at all at home because if I have to nip outside, I need something that I can slip my boots over. Sunday's a perfect example. For those of you who are not in the Discord, I went for a 5 kilometre run first thing on Sunday morning, and I was just finished drying my hair and put my clothes on, and Mr. Jem phoned me the cows had escaped. I then went and ran about a field for the best part of 2 hours, and I had nothing in my legs. So yeah, that's a typical example. Like, wide leg jeans are no use to me for that. So yeah, there's that. 1990s wide legs. The last time I wore a dress to a wedding, I got so many compliments. It was at the point where it was like borderline uncomfortable. I'm like, right, yeah, I get it. You think I look nice in a dress and you like the dress, I get it. I do look okay in a dress. Like, I don't look awkward in a dress or anything, but I feel awkward in it. With the exception of my wedding dress, which was banging. I had a great time in that dress, and nobody expected me just because of, like, obviously being quite tomboyish and not liking dresses. I basically went full on Disney princess, which no one was expecting, and it was the best fun. It was incredibly warm and heavy, but I had such a good time. And I deliberately, like, I was determined. It was so hot the day I got married, and I was determined that I was not getting changed out of that dress just out of principle. And I actually got congratulated by the bar staff. They're like, you're the only bride in the last week that's kept their wedding dress on for like the full, from the ceremony right through until bedtime. because it was really warm, and I was like, damn tootin', I'm keeping it on. I was like, feel like a Disney princess. This is great. And I'm like swishing my skirts about. But that was kind of, that's a different thing. But generally speaking, I'm like, people are like, oh, it's summertime, why don't you wear a dress? I'm like, no. I get jeans and boots, thank you very much. None of that shenanigans going on. Right, let's really get wired in with this this Holbein. This Holbein gouache is like, oh, it's so good. Right, I just want to be slightly lighter. That's probably a wee bitty too light, but that's okay. I'm just gonna sort of pull that in a bit more. Okay, right, that's acceptable. So let's have some of this along here. So like lightest of lightest feathery touches. My brush actually isn't dry enough, so I'm just taking off the excess. That's better. Yeah, when a nice sort of textured, mossy feel going on there. I've actually got a better brush. When I say better, I mean better for the task in hand, not better as it's actually a better paintbrush. This one's far too nice and like sort of precision based. I've got a sort of slightly fluffier, older brush that's not the Hemi brush. Where are you? I have to say my gouache brush collections, it's getting a bit out of hand now. I really don't need all these brushes, but I like them. There we go. So some of you will be familiar with this old chestnut. This is just a wee old Faber-Castell craft brush, and the bristles are slightly softer and they're slightly more splayed out. This brush has seen some things, but that's kind of what we want for. Ah, yeah, there we go. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go forth with this and see what happens. Ooh, yeah, okay. Again, not too bothered about this bottom section because we're gonna have grass and things here. Also don't want to overdo it with this. I think I'm just gonna like. I've deliberately not mixed this paint fully as well because when I pick up, I want to have a little bit of variation when it comes to the sort of second layer, if you like. Oh, Doc's on the move. Are you okay? Oh, tail's going round in circles. Are you okay? Hi. Did you come to see me? Oh, I know, son. Are you a happy boy? Look at that tail going. Oh. He's just come for a wee pet. Everything's okay, isn't it? No gorgeous boy? Oh, Pip's coming with a toy. Hi, Pip. What have you got? We can't play just now. Mum's still working. You have to wait till later. Can I have this? Can I show the gavers? Oh. This is currently Pip's favourite toy. Obviously a tuggy toy. My elbow's really not fit for playing tuggy with Pip just now, but this is like we've abandoned all the tennis balls. This is what we want to play with just now. I need both hands and I need to be like down on the floor for it. Right, you take it just now. You get it? Good girl. You love the gate, Harry. Well, it's a good start, I think. I feel. Oh, we're still getting the face. I wonder if well, I don't know if she's gonna stay there long enough for me to do this, but I'll try. Oh no, she's gone. She's gone. Jock's away as hell. Where are you going, son? You going back to your bed? And Pip just likes to be like, she's very independent, and it's one of the things I love about her. She very much just likes to go and do her own thing unless you're like 100% engaged with her. She likes to go and lounge about elsewhere and whatnot. which it's a big change from the collie that I had before her. Mist would, like, the way I always say it is, if Mist, she had huge separation anxiety issues when we first got her as well, and it took a while to work through that. But if you were sitting on the couch, she was like practically on top of you, and she wasn't a small dog. You know, we're talking like a good 16, 18 kilos maybe, and she was more or less like on top of you. Oh, spinny wheels. I don't. Everything's okay at this end. Maybe it's not. We're back. Okay, good. You know I can't take full responsibility for the hillbilly internet. There's only so much I can do. It shouldn't be too bad though. I've not. I have 0 dropped frames. So that's always like a fairly good indicator of how good the health of the stream is. But you'll just have to put up with it, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Thanks to the hillbilly internet reference, my brain fills in the Julian banjos as home music. I know. And honestly, like I think we're so lucky because I've moved about so much. Like, what, we're on our 3rd cave now, and since I started to live stream at the last cave, we've been really lucky, generally speaking, with consistency. Things could have been so much worse. I could have moved to an area where there was just not enough bandwidth to do it full stop. So slightly grateful for that, because I really enjoy these live streams now, you guys know that. So we've been, I know there's been a few mishaps, but in the grand scheme of things, we've had to cancel very, very few streams because of internet issues. I did notice on Friday night it was a bit more spicy, but that's to be expected because obviously Friday night's kind of like premium bandwidth hogging. You know, that's when people are likely to be at home, etc. So I think we've done fairly well. Apparently we're supposed to be getting fibre broadband now. It was supposed to be happening sometime this year. We haven't heard any more about it, so I am not going to hold my breath for that. If we could get that, that would be fantastic, because that would more or less eliminate completely any sort of connection or speed issues. But all things considered, very happy, especially for what I pay, because it's business broadband that I've got, but it's mobile broadband, because of where we are. And it's very reasonable, all things considered. A lot of these business contracts are absolutely, like, the prices are astronomical. So we're actually doing very well out of this, all things considered. I'll pick up a little bit more of this. I don't want to go too hard with this, because that was the other thing I felt in this one, that, I mean, this area, like, it's too light. Like, it's too light. Like, what were you thinking, Jem? I need this to be subtle-ish, kind of. So I think I've done a better job with that generally this time round, which is just as well, because that was kind of the point. I'll tell you what, this little sea white brush is earning its keep today. It's done all the heavy lifting today. Might just pop a wee bit in there for fun. Down here. Okay. Now, I keep getting a drip in the end of my ferrule though. Turn that way, because that's the side I've just painted. Just pop in some lines here. I can hear a little birdie out of the feeder giving it tweet tweet. It sounds like Mr. Chaffinch. It sounds very much like his Yeah, it is. Just back for something to eat. Just using up the last of the mixed squirrel stroke bird seed. I have on good authority now. I've spoken to Ulrika a wee bit about this, but during the summer we're being discouraged from putting out mixed seed for them, and it's to help stop spread disease. So we're moving to mealworms. So I just want them to clean up what's in the window feeder just now before I start putting the mealworms out. I found out as well Pip really likes mealworms. I'm like, I'm not surprised in the slightest because Pip will more or less eat anything. But she was trying to get her nose in the tub as I was like pouring them in the tub. I was like, hey, they're not for you. What a workhorse. That is a really good name for these brushes. They're still very popular. I don't sell as many paint brushes as I do the Sea White sketchbooks, but there is a steady flow of people that buy these paintbrushes. I just think they're fabulous value. Even if they don't, like, see if you're really heavy-handed with your brushes, you're still going to get a couple of years out of them, and for the price of them, like, why would you not do that? And they're very versatile as well. Like the Forest synthetic brush, I find that they work well with watercolour, but they stand up to doing stuff with gouache, and I like a slightly springier brush for gouache as well, so it says a lot for them. A big up the Sea White. Do you know we don't have any starlings at all? None. Zero. A bird hit the kitchen window, went out to check it was dazed but alive, and you give it a wee pet. Oh. We have a lot of that. I've got several like greasy bird-shaped marks on quite a few windows actually. So I've started like tilting the blinds and things so that it doesn't happen for little things. I've also got we had a new visitor to the cave feeder yesterday. I have goldfinches in my garden, and there were 4 of them, and I haven't seen, that's the first time I've seen them, and apparently they're not as common as they used to be. So that was quite nice. I was like, oh, I know what that is. Getting quite up on my birdie knowledge now. Oh, we're getting proper woody effect here. This is it. This is fabulous. I'm happy with this. It was rather vocal as it hopped off. Statler walked off. That's funny. Yes, our garden is a hive of birdie activity at the moment. We do have birds in the bird box, so there's lots of cheeping going from there. And I have a very busy cohort of blue tits. They're back and forth all the time. I hadn't seen any coal tits, so that's like the wee weeny ones, and they don't have any pretty colours on them. I hadn't seen any at all until the other day as well, and then a couple of them popped in and I was like, oh yeah, you guys are back. I thought they'd maybe been like kind of bullied out. But apparently they're doing fine and dandy. They're just doing their own thing. But they tend to frequent the two. I've got 2 hanging feeders, so they're cage feeders. But there's the main part which is mesh, and then there's a cage on the outside, and it's to stop the bigger birds getting in, so like the blackbirds can't get in, etc., and the crows can't get in. So it turns out that the coal tits have been going over there. So I don't know whether things are just getting a bit too competitive and crowded over here because the coal tits are tiny. But they're still about, which is nice. So I'm happy that my wee birdie cohort are doing okay for the most part. I greeted spotted woodpecker yesterday. Oh! We have woodpeckers, and not in our woods because we've got trees on both sides of our garden. Some of the trees are part of the garden, and the other side it's the kind of like border between us and our neighbour. But we haven't had any there. But down at the bottom end of the farm where I like to walk the dogs, there's woodpeckers in there. You hear them clattering away. They're like, shh, stop spoiling the tranquility. And it's like, da 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 da, shh. Okay, I feel like that's getting somewhere. Again, I'll just leave that to dry, I think. Okay. That literally, this is what I wanted to achieve today. The last thing that I do want to do is go back to these sort of purplish grey colours. Let me just Let me just put my brush on my little dragon dude over there. I've got this one as well. Pop it over there just now. Again, what brush do I want to use for this? I'm probably just going to stick with the number 1, honestly. I want to take all this sort of muddy, purpley greyishness and just add a wee bit of white to it, and just put a wee bit more detail in these bricks now. Stones, not bricks. So if I just plonk a wee bit of that in there, let me clean off probably this one actually. Give this a good scrub about. A wall mountable feeder from B&M. Oh, nice. I wonder when we start ganging up on Jem for not wearing our readers. It's very subjective, honestly. Like just now I'm fine. I don't feel like I'm struggling at all. But then again, the light in the cave's really good just now. See, if the light was dimmer, I'd probably struggle more. I really only like really feel it is when I'm reading in bed at night, and when I wake up first thing in the morning to look at my phone, I'm like, that's when I find I need the most, or reading the newspapers, the other one, which is something I don't do very often now. If I do get a very rare day to myself, one of the things I like to do is go down to the local village and see my postmistress, who's one of my favourite people ever. And it's because it's a small place, it's the post office, it's the newsagents, it's the gift shop, like all together. So I go down and I get a newspaper, hand my shop order parcels in, and they have fresh morning rolls, and they're huge. They're like this big. So I buy a pack of 2 of them, and I have one for breakfast and leave the other one for Mr. Jim. Have a cup of tea and sit and read the paper. That's like one of my favourite things to do. It's usually a Sunday as well that I do that. But yeah, it's just one of the things I like to do. So in that instance, I would absolutely have my glasses on. I think the glasses should be worn nevertheless, though, to keep the eyes from getting worse quicker. Yeah, it is just a habit thing, but I just feel like I'm so borderline. There's loads of things that I manage really well with, and I don't notice it at all. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. But, you know, like, say, especially when I'm at bed at night and I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, put your specs on, Jem. Put your specs on. I'm actually, I think, do you know what would be a better idea? I would be better getting a second pair and having a pair here in the cave, because my other pair right now are in the bedroom, because that's where I tend to use them. So I think if I had a pair through here, I'd probably be more likely to put them on. Who knows? Who knows? Right, this is just not getting to where I want it to get to. Oh, I don't know if I want to do this or not. That's literally the same colour as I've already put down. 0 out of 10 for mixing skills, Jem. Oh, wow. That's funny, right? I need some clean water for this. Did not go as expected. 0 out of 10 for mixing skills. To be fair, my frames weren't expensive anyway. The pair that I got was kind of like the optician's own brand version of the designer ones that I liked when I tried them on, but their frames ended up being more comfortable than the designer ones anyway. It's something I might just do that actually. I'm not. I've been kind of. Oh no, I've been kind of thinking about it. See, now that's too late. What are we going to do with that? I think I'm going to have to glaze that out. Right, I'll just get a damp brush here. That's far, 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 far too late. We were getting on so well as well. That'll probably dry fairly sensibly though. Yeah, look, that's drying already, because there's quite a lot of water in that. Oh, okay. Crisis averted. Good grief. So let's just go easy with this, sir. The other thing that I find weird as well, and again for those of you that are visually impaired, I seem to struggle a lot more when I'm colouring specifically rather than painting, and it's do you know what it is? It's looking at the line work and the accuracy of where your pencil tip is versus the line work. Whereas when I'm painting things, it's not so much of an issue. Does it, like, am I talking absolute rubbish there, or does anyone else feel the same way? Because I feel that when I'm arting, that's when I struggle most. See that, and depending on the light situation as well. If it's lower light, I tend to find myself kind of like, like what's going on down here? Oh, Jock's on the move again, just in case you can't hear him. The kitchen glasses, instructions and recipes. Oh yeah, you don't have a holiday on Friday. I was just about to say it probably won't be open though. No, we've got a bank holiday on Monday. I just already said that. Well, you guys have a bank, like, seeing farming bank holidays don't exist. It's really interesting though, because I was talking to one of the ladies at work, who I get on very well with. She's lovely, and she also likes to draw. She's a very talented artist as well. And we were trying to arrange a catch up. And I said to her, I was like, I'll get back to you on Monday because I've got quite a busy week because I'm off on Friday, physio, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, it'll need to be Tuesday because it's a bank holiday on Monday and I'm not working. I'm like, pardon? I'm like, since when did your department get bank holidays? Like, I don't get a bank holiday. Like, farmers don't take bank holidays. Why are you getting a bank holiday? It's all in jest, though, obviously. I don't have to work on Monday. I can take a holiday. My holiday entitlement includes the entitlement for the public holidays. I could take Monday off if I wanted to. I am not taking Monday off. I like to save up all my holidays and then take like nearly a month off at Christmas. That's way more fun. But yeah, no, that amused me slightly. I'm like, yeah, your customer base, they don't really care about bank holidays. It's not a thing. Cows also don't care about bank holidays. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, detail level and light are subjective. Thank you, Cal. Yeah, I will not be taking Monday off. I'm good, thanks. See, the other thing as well is you've got to remember that I'm paid hourly. I'm in like this weird hybrid system now though, because technically I'm employed now. I'm not self-employed anymore. Um, but I have it's like a set minimum contracted hours. But if I work over that, I get paid by the hour and I get paid overtime. So I get a holiday entitlement as well. But the difference is that when I take a holiday, it only equates to my part-time contracted hours, so it's only half a day. Not that it makes any difference in the grand scheme of things, but it's a bit of a weird setup, honestly. It's working though, works fine for me. So for example, on Friday, my physio appointment is at 10 o'clock. I normally start work at 7:30 in the morning. So on Friday, I will do 2 hours work before I go to my physio appointment. And it means that I'm only taking a half day because I'm only taking 2 hours because I'm contracted 4 hours a day. So yeah, it's really strange, but that's just the way that it works. Like, that's just the way that it works. But that saves me having to take a holiday because we're allowed to take time off. Again, one of the lovely things about my employers, you can take time off for dental appointments, hospital appointments, doctor's appointments, and it's just like you've just got to log it in the system basically, that you have a medical appointment. You don't need to elaborate any more than that. And you just go and that's it. And I work in retail, so our stores all open on IT. That's why I outsource childcare and internet care. Parents actually have to work more on a bank holiday because the kids are home. Yeah, you gotta juggle everything. Okay, a bit happier with my wall. I think I need a wee bit more work on here. I'm not leaving this. I want it to be right. It's got to be right. But we're nearly there. Can you hear my wee birdies pecking away? when Mr. Jim's in the house and they do that, he says, "Come in." That was quite violent, actually. Okay. I'm waiting for it to go again. It's the sunflower seeds. They like to like rest them on the perch and then... Okay, I think I'm going to stop there, guys. For once in a live stream, I have actually achieved what I set out to achieve, and I've been realistic in my time scales and my ability to perform whilst chatting and other things. So that's nice. It's all good. It's all good. Ah, geez. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I've had quite a good time this afternoon. I am gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this painting out here, and I'm probably gonna chip away at it. Maybe a bit at a time, even if I can get just like, I don't know, like maybe 20 minutes or something at a time to do one colour and just, you know, like add a wee bit more to it. That's what I think I'll do over the next week and try and get it a bit closer to looking like a finished article. Other than that, as I mentioned earlier, I will be, as soon as I finish the stream here, I'm going to put the May live stream schedule up, so I'll post that on the posts page on the YouTube channel. Thea will put it in the Discord for those of you that are over there. But Friday, I will be doing the Lego live stream on Friday, so if any of you want to join me for that, that would be fabby. In between that and the next live stream, there will be another video as well. I'm working my way back to the Cave Discoveries painting. I've just abandoned it because I've kind of got a block with it. But I really want to get this little gouache painting finished first, and then I'm gonna probably go back to that. So that video probably won't appear for a wee while, if I'm honest. But there will be more videos in the meantime, and everything will be fine. Cal's looking forward to some wet weather so she can do some arting instead of gardening. That was your swap. Anyway, guys, thanks for all the other hands. Wee other hands for everyone. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out. We've talked about boobies again, only slightly though. We've talked about the monarchy, and we've talked about prescriptions in healthcare. So yeah, lovely varied subject matter today, because we're those kind of people. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you back in the cave really soon for another video. See you later.